I'm pregnant with my ex-husband's baby, and somehow affair partner is mad? Original post. And I feel so needy asking him to come. Trying to be as vague as I can possibly be without affecting the story. So I, mid-20s. I'm married to Brad, also mid-20s. We currently have a long-distance relationship because he got a better work opportunity there and I can't move because I can't take my uni campus with me. I wasn't that thrilled about him moving a 5-hour drive away to a new country. But it being Europe, we figured that trains and buses will help ease the temporary experience. Plus, he was overjoyed about it and I could never taint his happiness. Lately, something really bad happened to my life. Without getting into too much details, I am grieving really badly. Hours and days and weeks seem to blend into each other in this thick, heavy mess, and I can't bring myself to get out of bed some days or put on trousers. He knows of the situation but can't do much being so far, so I ask him to come over. Here's where we get to the problem. His brother, Chad, moved to Brad's country to study. Brad said he can't come over because he has to show his brother the country and school and help him move, etc. He is planning to be his guide over the city for 2 weeks. I pleaded with him that I needed him, but he told me he is scared his parents will get mad at him if he doesn't take care of his brother like they want him to. I was heartbroken. I was venting to a friend, Denise, asking her if it is normal that I am so sad he won't come support me in these dark times. And she snapped at me, told me I should be grateful I have a caring husband, and to stop being freaking jealous of 18. Chad is 19 and she knows it. Denise then ranted that I am being ridiculous and an a-hole for demanding he leave his baby brother behind to come cuddle me like a child. She told me I needed to hear the truth of my actions from someone else. Now I feel like the worst human and the worst wife on the planet. I need advice on how to deal with this relationship conflict and maybe a bit less needy. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Can you not go to him? If you're already not going to classes, it would make more sense if you went over there since he has work and other obligations. I live at home, while he lives in a very strict housing facility managed by his work and is not allowed visitors. I would have to get an Airbnb, which I absolutely cannot afford. Also, I'm not going to classes because they haven't started yet. They start next week. I'm sorry you're depressed. Are you working with a doctor and therapist? I can appreciate that you'd like him to come see you. But wouldn't that mean he has to miss work as well? If he's already taking these 2 weeks off, is there a compromise? Like he could show his brother around the first week then come see you for a few days. I guess I just don't see what he can really do for you other than be present. And he does have another obligation already. If you've been feeling poorly for a while, it seems like you should see your doctor and a therapist. He works mostly remotely and only very few hours. Like 10 over 2 hours a week. 2 of which have to be on-site because of equipment he can't transport home. He usually does all 8 hours at the end of the month, so isn't needed on-site for 3 weeks. I am working with a psychiatrist. I can't see very often for various reasons that are mostly money and time. She told me she would rather not have me medicated right away and constantly stresses the importance of a support system. He is on the autism spectrum, so very bad with words but good with gestures. That's why I want him here. He doesn't have a clue how to help someone emotionally by text. Whether your husband is with you or with his brother right now is not the real issue. You have clearly been hurting for a long time, and even if your husband did come home, you still need real treatment for acute depression and grieving. Please try to seek treatment or find a support group, even an online group, to deal with your grief. You are not the worst human and wife on the planet. You are a hurt human being who needs help processing your loss. I can't bring myself to call your spouse the a-hole. Yes, you're supposed to put your spouse first when you're married, but in this case, your husband isn't just ditching home to go on vacation. He's helping his brother get set up in a new country. Again, even if he did skip this trip and come home, you would still need, and deserve, additional mental health support to get you through this time. I'm very sorry for your loss. Please be kind to yourself. This brought tears to my eyes. Thank you. As explained in another comment, I have psychiatrist's help. She is encouraging me to have my husband around. Also, yeah, no one tells you losing your mom, dad, and sister and ending up in debt would be that brutal on you. He didn't even come to the funeral. I am lost, but appreciated your kind words. I'll try not to be so hard on him. Now for the first update a month later. My wonderful, soon-to-be ex-husband lied to me for months while living with his affair partner, my ex-best friend. It was lovely to find out that no, his new work building didn't have strict rules. She was living with him. He had a work opportunity in another country, so we were living in a long-distance relationship for a few months. We saw each other recently, had passionate sessions, and overall had fun. Until I discovered the affair. Tears and screams and bag packing later. I was home mulling over the situation. I am numb, still numb even after finding out I was pregnant. Here is where it gets good. Affair partner is infertile. Her husband left her recently because of that, and I was her shoulder to cry on. I called ex-husband to tell him about the baby, the high risk of miscarriage, and she was next to him. She went crazy. Screamed and cried that I had no right to have her man's baby, that I am stealing her life and being a witch. Oh, really? Even her relatives are now blowing up my phone calling me horrible spiteful witch. What? How? Why? Logic gymnastics much? I am so done with everything. 2022 sucks. I have no one to talk to, so here I am getting this out of my chest. Edit: Denise is the same Denise from my last post. Also, funnily enough, Chad tips me on the affair. I have a therapist, and following your advice, got a lawyer. Also, please stop telling me to not murder my baby over my bitterness for my husband. My heart is already raw over that hard but necessary decision. I respect your beliefs, so please respect my decision. She's mad because she wanted everything that you had, but you took something that she'd never be able to get. Her plan failed. Yes, I personally would rub her nose in it. She deserves that torture. Tune out their crazy. Block her and her family. Have your baby. File for child support. Live a fantastic, happy life. I hope she chokes on her own bile. She is incensed she wasn't successfully able to slot into your life and remove you completely from his. And that you're pregnant with his child, something she will never be. The only fitting punishment for him is eternity with a woman who seems quite unstable and her super crazy family. I hope they live miserably ever after. Funnily enough, her mom called me a homewrecker. Get a really good lawyer so you can figure out custody and child support. I am so sorry you're going through all of this alone. I was a single mom for a few years, and while it was tough, it forced me to want better for myself and to do better for my child. You will get through this, OP. There's no one in the world stronger than a protective and determined mama. There probably won't be custody or anything because of my health state, but thank you for such a nice message. I'm honestly baffled at Denise's words and logic, but what can I do but move on? I have to admit I would have loved to be a mom, even if it meant going through the journey alone. But health issues plus very rocky situation is making the whole ordeal very unstable. If I was to have a kid, they deserve to at least have a mentally stable mom, which is why I am making the very painful decision to let it go. You have to do what's best for you, and if letting the pregnancy end is the best thing, then well done for making such an incredibly difficult decision. There is no shame in waiting until you are in a better, more stable and more supportive time in your life. I wish you luck in your life, and hope you can work through this awful situation. And screw Denise. Your ex may be tied to her craziness, but at least you won't be. It's the best thing for everyone involved, especially the child. But God, isn't it a hard decision to make? I want him to have the best in this world could offer, and that is simply impossible when you see his dad, stepmom, and my mental health state. Thanks for caring. It means a lot. Now for the second update. It's been about 3 days, but these days felt like weeks to me. As I was tossing and turning in my hospital bed, I remembered this account and thought you might want an update. To be frank, I also need to tell someone. I lost my baby. A few hours after posting, actually. Avoiding details, and my memory is also hazy. It was gruesome. I won't explain very much, but it was just horrible. For context, I take heart meds for a condition I got from my dad, one of those being blood thinners. When I miscarried, it was flowing, and I honestly thought I would be dying. I was on my knees in pain, and the massive blood loss coupled with the already severe anemia made me very dizzy and confused. I called the fire department and managed to stay lucid until they came. I wish this on no one ever. It was traumatizing. This is where it gets bad. I don't remember if I mentioned it somewhere on the original post, but my husband came home when he heard of the pregnancy and was staying at a budget hotel on the other side of the road. When he saw the fire trucks pulling to our house, he apparently ran over to ask what was happening to his wife. He followed the ambulance to the hospital, or so he told me, and came in pretending he was my dear old husband being so concerned for me. I didn't need much, just a blood transfusion, iron and other IVs, and some painkiller. They also gave me meds to finish the job and recommended rest. Waking up to find him next to me was a nightmare. I have no English words to describe how gutted I was when I woke up to his concerned face next to me. We fought. I told him I never wanted to see him again and was serving him papers soon. He said I was his wife, that he loved more than anything in this world, and was deeply concerned for me. What love, when you were living with your affair partner? Then he pulled out his phone and broke up with Denise on speakerphone. It asked me if I wanted him to make a Facebook post where he tells everyone about his infidelity. I told him he could go screw himself for all I care. Every time I wake up, there he is, tidying up my room, changing the flowers in the vase, peeling my fruit, or bringing me even more boxes of my favorite chocolates, the fruity, the merry ones. He is constantly here, catering to my every need. The nurses did ask me if I wanted him removed after we argued, but I said no. I don't know why. I feel like somewhere in there is still the kind man I married. Maybe not. As I write this, he is sleeping on a wooden chair, arms crossed. As for Denise, she sent me some colorful messages. She heard about my miscarriage from my husband and didn't miss a beat in insulting me even more, saying that's all I deserve for stealing her man away from her, that I was a racist slut who hated her and her family all along, and she was glad I would never be a mother. It goes without saying that I took the mental health initiative to block her and her whole circus. See you in therapy, guys. Homewrecker out. Don't know if I can be vulnerable, but I feel like my heart has been ripped to shreds. Someone on my last post said something to the effect of, no one goes to an abortion with a smile on their face. And God, is that true? Even if this baby wasn't expected to last, it hurts. It hurts like crazy. You keep playing the what ifs in your head. I wish it didn't have to be this way. I wish I could welcome a little one into my life. I keep wishing I could just go back to having a small family and a loving husband. I wish I could just forgive and forget, but I won't. And man, does it hurt. This is getting too long and boring. Sorry about that. I can't thank you enough for all the kind words from every single one of you. Rereading them earlier gave me the clarity to realize I was making the right decision and I had the strength to do so. Thank you. So, your husband didn't break up with Denise all this time he was asking you to take him back? Don't be weak, OP. You made it this far without him or his support. He abandoned you when your parents and sister died. He didn't even come to their funeral. He was living with Denise and sleeping with her. Her entire family betrayed you for so long. He lied saying the housing was strict and never let you see where he was living. He was ready to leave you in the cruelest way. Your last bond with him is gone after baby was heartbreakingly lost. Don't let him hurt you again. Oof, condensing it all made my head spin. Remembering the layers and layers of betrayal and cruelty make me want to fight for that alimony. But seriously, I just now realized he didn't even break up with her until then. Screw this guy. Get the alimony. He will just give it to Denise. Get what he owes you. From your other posts, you've been very socially isolated. I can understand why you'd tell the nurse the husband thing could stay. You need a social support. You don't have to get back with him or try and stay with him because he's helping you now. The fact of the matter is, it's too little too late. Don't let him back in your life when you're getting better. You're doing the right thing with therapy and a divorce lawyer. They'll help you deal with your dumpster fire husband and psycho Denise. Your therapist might be able to recommend support groups, etc. You will meet people and form friendships. You'll find new interests and be able to overhaul your life when the husband creature is gone and you're on the mend. Surprised to see someone understand a husband thing. I can't help feeling either like I am taking advantage of him or being a coward and letting him back so easily into my life. Maybe it is that deep down I just feel alone. My therapist recommended a good grief counselor when I called to cancel my next appointment. I was confused, but she said I needed someone to help me grieve the relationship and my baby. Guess she knows better. I will give it a try. Turns out I had more friends than I thought. People came to visit me so much it was exhausting. Denise's brother came and brought me flowers and a letter. Haven't read it yet. Thank you for your concern, but I will be okay. I'll let the waves of life take me, hopefully, somewhere better. Tell the nurse to kick him out. I should, but I'm weak. Also, the nurses are absolute angels. After the fight did my refusal to kick him out, one of them slid me a piece of bandage wrapper. The paper thing gauze comes in. On it she wrote, "If you need help or security to be called, ask for grapes with your lunch." Honestly, such a smart move. I thanked her profusely afterwards. Last update. It's 11 p.m. here. I kicked my husband out of the room earlier. He started talking about going home together and finally trying officially for a kid. I had enough. I asked the nurse, the one who gave me the wrapper, for grapes as a snack. She called security and they escorted him out. I can't move on if he's lingering around. Thanks for all the sweet messages, the concerns, the love, the support, the DMs, everything. You people have a heart of gold, and I hope karma pays it back tenfold. You don't know the positive impact you had on my mental health. Jesus, it's like the universe pointed at Opie and said, destroy this person in particular. Losing her whole close family suddenly, having her husband cheat on her with her best friend, and having such a traumatic miscarriage, all in such a short time span. I hope she recovers from this and finds new people that care for her. Seriously, the universe must have put something in the air if all of Reddit wasn't even sniffing out an affair from that first post. I mean, come on. That's all we do here. What the heck happened? She's literally in the hospital after a life-threatening miscarriage, being actively harassed by the woman he was fooling around on her with. And he thinks the way to get her back is to offer to knock her up again? Good hustle, I guess. That's because she's his baby incubator. He only cared about getting back with her because she was pregnant with his baby. He only wants to be with her so he can get his perfect family. That's why he so easily left Denise. She can't provide that for him.